I need your undivided attention for the next few minutes. What I'm about to share is a master key, one that unlocks the true meaning behind a man's words and could save you from years of emotional quicksand and wasted life force. After more than a decade of decoding human behavior and the subtle currents of relationships, I've identified 5 phrases. These aren't just missteps or poor communication. They are a precise language of emotional manipulation, engineered to sound harmless. Once you learn to hear the code, you will never be fooled again. And you must stay with me, because the 5th one is the most camouflaged and destructive of all. Nearly every woman I've known has missed it, and understanding it is the single most critical act of self-preservation you can perform for your heart this year. Before we unpack these 5 phrases, we have to address a foundational truth that will permanently recalibrate how you navigate your relationships with men. Society has trained most women to be translators of male behavior. We're taught to take his confusing signals and translate them into the language of potential we want to hear. We're conditioned to be healers, not guardians of our own peace. This programming is so deeply embedded that our innate alarm system, our intuition for spotting those who prey on emotion, has been effectively muted. And I will call them what they are: emotional architects of chaos. They use specific verbal blueprints to probe your defenses, lower your property value, and make you doubt the very foundation of your own sanity. The ancient masters of strategy understood that words are not just sounds, they are actions. When a man speaks to you, he is not merely conveying data. He is projecting the architecture of his inner world, his true intentions, his character, and his level of respect directly onto your emotional landscape. This is precisely why some conversations leave you feeling hollowed out, dizzy, or second-guessing yourself, even if you can't logically explain why. Your gut was reading the blueprint of manipulation, but your mind was trying to renovate it into something beautiful. What I'm giving you today isn't just dating advice. It is a form of energetic architecture. It will protect not only your heart but the entire structure of your life. Because here is the brutal truth: the man you choose is not a romantic partner, he is a life partner. He will influence your ambition, your financial health, your friendships, your physical well-being, and your relationship with yourself. A wrong choice isn't a setback, it's a multi-year demolition project on your soul. A right choice, or more importantly, the wisdom to instantly discard the wrong ones, creates a solid foundation for a magnificent life to be built. The first phrase, a wrecking ball disguised as a comment, is, "You're being too emotional," or its cousins, "You're overthinking this," and "Calm down." This is reality distortion 101. It's a strategic move designed to make you believe your internal compass is broken. When a man tells you your emotions are too much, he is not making a valid observation about you. He is confessing his own lack of capacity to deal with a woman who is fully alive and emotionally honest. What's really happening is this: he is testing your allegiance. Will you betray your own feelings to secure his comfort? Will you dim your own light so his doesn't seem so faint? A man who cherishes you does not fear your feelings, he is fascinated by them. He wants to understand their source. He leans in, he listens. He knows that your emotions are not a problem to be solved but a map to your heart. When he tells you your natural emotional response is invalid, he is telling you point blank, "My comfort is more important than your reality." The most dangerous part of this phrase is that it's a virus of self-doubt. You begin to police your own feelings, second-guessing every intuitive hit. You start to ask yourself, am I being unreasonable? This is the goal. An emotional predator needs you disconnected from your guidance system, because your intuition is the only thing that can see through his camouflage. Countless women spend years in therapy trying to reconnect with their own feelings after being told they were wrong for having them. This is not a communication issue, it is a form of emotional vandalism, and we have normalized it. But evolved, conscious men do not behave this way. They know a woman's emotional depth is not a weakness, it's her superpower. The second phrase you must treat like a biohazard is, "I'm just being brutally honest," or "I'm just telling it like it is," usually right after he said something cruel. This is the act of weaponizing virtue. It's an attempt to disguise cruelty as integrity. When someone uses honesty as a shield for their meanness, they aren't being honest. They're being abusive and demanding you thank them for it. True honesty is delivered with the intention to build, not to demolish. It is wrapped in compassion, timed with care, and offered from a place of genuine love. When a man says something deliberately wounding and then claims the high ground of honesty, he's showing you he either has zero empathy or he actively enjoys inflicting pain and wants to make you responsible for it. I've seen this tactic systematically dismantle a woman's self-worth. He'll criticize your body, your career ambitions, your friends, anything that brings you joy. And if you dare to say, "That hurt," he'll flip it and accuse you of being unable to handle the truth. This sets a psychological snare where you start to believe that enduring cruelty is a sign of strength and asking for kindness is a sign of weakness. The fact is, a man who loves you is your biggest fan. He wants to see you win. Yes, tough conversations are necessary, but their purpose is to strengthen the connection, not to score points by diminishing you. When someone consistently uses honesty as a club, they are showing you that their priority is dominance, not partnership. What makes this so effective is our cultural praise for keeping it real. We feel we should appreciate directness, even when it feels like a punch to the gut. But here's the distinction I need you to burn into your mind. Honesty without kindness is not a virtue. It is cruelty in a noble-sounding disguise. The third phrase, which should trigger every single alarm you have, is, "You're trying to control me," whenever you state a perfectly reasonable need or boundary. This is textbook gaslighting, a tactic designed to make you terrified of advocating for your own well-being in the relationship. When a man relabels your request as control, he is actively training you to have no needs at all. Let's be perfectly clear, boundaries are not control. They are not ultimatums. They are not punishments. Boundaries are the user manual for how to love you. When you say, "It's important to me that we spend quality time together," or "I'm not okay with you speaking to me that way," or "Need to know if your plans change," you are not being a dictator, you are being a clear communicator. A man who reflexively calls you controlling is revealing a fatal flaw in his character. He believes his personal convenience outweighs your emotional safety. He sees your needs not as vital information, but as annoying obstacles to his freedom. This is not the blueprint for a healthy partnership. It is the blueprint for a dynamic in which you slowly erase yourself to avoid being difficult. The tragedy here is that women in these situations start to believe him. They shrink their needs, swallow their pain, and start to wear the low maintenance badge with pride, not realizing they are simply abandoning themselves to appease someone who does not have their back. Here is what you must know. A man who is genuinely invested in you wants to know your boundaries. He craves that clarity because he wants to succeed at loving you. He understands that your boundaries are not a cage. They are the very structure that allows trust, respect, and true intimacy to be built. The men who accuse you of being controlling are the very men who will exploit you if you have no controls in place. They want a VIP pass to your life while holding a general admission ticket themselves. They want all the perks of a relationship with none of the responsibility. The fourth phrase is one of the most common and emotionally costly. "I'm not looking for anything serious right now," or "I don't do labels." But, and this is the entire point, he says this while treating you like his girlfriend. He's in constant contact. He monopolizes your weekends. He introduces you to his circle. He confides in you. He creates all the emotional and physical intimacy of a committed partnership, all while verbally keeping you at arm's length. This tactic is the commitment loophole, emotional manipulation masquerading as upfront honesty. It's designed to give him 100% of the benefits of a relationship with 0% of the accountability. He gets your devotion, your body, your time, and your emotional labor, while retaining a get-out-of-jail-free card. He already told you he wasn't serious, right? This is devastating because it traps you. If you accept his terms, you're co-signing your own devaluation. If you ask for more, he can gaslight you by pointing to his original statement, making you feel demanding. If you leave, you're haunted by the what if, believing that if you were just a little more patient, it might have become real. Here is the absolute, unshakable truth. When a man truly wants you, there is no ambiguity. There is no "let's just see." There is no confusion. When a man understands your value, he moves with purpose and clarity to make you his. The men who keep you in this relational purgatory are not confused. They know exactly what they want to keep you on the hook without having to land the fish. This dynamic is so damaging because it starves your self-worth over time. You start internalizing the belief that you are not quite enough to be fully chosen, that you have to earn commitment by accepting less than you deserve. The most insidious part is that these men often do like you. They enjoy you. They may even love you in their own shallow way, but they love their freedom and their options more than they love your heart. They would rather hold you in painful uncertainty than risk losing their access to you by being truly honest about their lack of commitment. And now, for the fifth and most dangerous phrase. It is so subtle, it often bypasses our rational mind and strikes directly at the soul. Most women don't identify it as a weapon until years later, when they are picking up the pieces of their identity. The phrase is, "You've changed," delivered with a tone of disappointment or accusation. It implies that the person you are becoming is a downgrade from the person you once were. This phrase is a soul killer. Its sole purpose is to arrest your personal growth and guilt you into remaining a version of yourself that was more convenient for him. When a man criticizes you for evolving, he is admitting that he didn't fall in love with you, he fell in love with your potential to serve his ego. Here's the subtext: you are finally setting stronger boundaries, finding your voice, succeeding in your career, or simply becoming more authentically you. And instead of being your biggest cheerleader, he feels threatened. Why? Because the previous version of you was more compliant, more focused on his needs, and less of a challenge to his status quo. He preferred the seed, not the tree it was destined to become. This is particularly cruel because it attacks your fundamental need for unconditional love. When a loved one suggests your growth is a form of betrayal, it can trigger an identity crisis. You start to wonder if becoming more yourself is worth the price of his affection. I have seen brilliant women dim their own light, give up on passions, distance themselves from supportive friends, abandon their dreams because a man made them feel guilty for their own evolution. He'll say therapy is making you weird, or he misses the old you, who was more easygoing. But here is the core truth you must grasp: a man who truly loves you doesn't just tolerate your growth, he is electrified by it. He is proud to be with a woman who is constantly becoming more herself. He knows your expansion doesn't diminish the relationship, it enriches it. When a man tells you he liked you better before, he is confessing that his love was conditional upon you staying small. That is not love, that is ownership. It is someone who wants a pet, not a partner. The most heartbreaking part is that women often internalize this as their failure. They feel guilty for outgrowing a box they were never meant to fit in. They apologize for taking up space. They start to see their own evolution as selfish, instead of the most natural and beautiful process of life. Now that you have this decoder, you might be feeling a storm of emotions: recognition, anger, grief for your past self, gratitude for your future one. All of it is valid. Honor it. But I need you to know this knowledge is not meant to make you bitter or jaded about love. It's designed to make you a discerning architect of your life. It's about learning the difference between a man who wants to build a palace with you and one who just wants to squat in your house. It's about finally giving your intuition the microphone. The truth is, there are men who would never dream of uttering these phrases. Men who see your sensitivity as a superpower. Men who deliver truth with kindness because your heart matters to them. Men who respect your boundaries because they know that's where trust is born. Men who commit with exhilarating clarity because they know your worth. Men who are thrilled to watch you grow because your light inspires them. These men are real, but you will never find them if you are busy trying to make excuses for the men who devalue you. You will never be available for them if your energy is tied up in a renovation project on a man who has no desire to change. Here's your assignment. Start noticing how you feel. After you talk to him, do you feel expanded or depleted? Do you feel cherished or confused? Do you feel more yourself or less yourself? Your body is keeping score. Your energy is the ultimate truth teller. Start trusting that initial gut feeling instead of arguing against it. If you find yourself constantly making excuses for his words or behavior, that is your data. That is your answer. Most of all, understand that walking away from someone who diminishes you is not an act of rejection, it is the ultimate act of self-acceptance. It is not giving up on love, it is clearing the space for the real thing to finally arrive. Every second you spend trying to teach a man your worth is a second you are unavailable to a man who already knows it. The right person for you will not require an audition. The right person will see you, choose you, and feel lucky to have done so. Let me share one final idea that redefined everything for me. Your standards are not a wall that keeps love out. They are a filter that only lets the right love in. When you are clear about what you require to feel safe and celebrated, you are not being difficult. You are providing the conditions for your most loving, authentic self to emerge. The people who complain about your standards are the very people who would fail to meet them. The ones who celebrate them, who honor them, who want to learn how to love you better. These are the people who deserve access to you. Every time you honor your gut, you are rebuilding trust in yourself. Every time you walk away from a dynamic that makes you feel small, you send a powerful message to the universe about what you are available for. This is not about becoming hardened. This is about becoming sacred. Your love, your energy, your heart. These are sacred. They are for those who understand their value. Here's the final, most important truth I can give you. It is not your job to fix people who break you. It is not your job to be a teacher to men who refuse to be students of love. It is not your job to love someone into a better version of themselves at the cost of your own soul. Your one and only job is to be so fiercely, unapologetically you that your life becomes a masterpiece of your own creation. The love you are seeking is also seeking you. But it can only find you when you are standing fully in your own truth, not contorting yourself to fit into someone else's small story. So the next time you hear one of these 5 phrases, I want you to hear my voice. Take a breath, trust yourself, and make the choice that honors the magnificent woman you are and are becoming. You deserve a love that feels like an expansion, not a cage. A love that is a celebration of your growth, not a punishment for it. Walk away from anyone who makes you doubt your light. Walk towards those who bask in it. The right love will not require you to leave yourself at the door. The right love will meet you there and be thrilled to walk in with you. Trust that, choose that, and never settle for anything less.